On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks thought of a young African-American boy who was tragically murdered a few months prior as she refused to give up her bus seat to a white man in Montgomery, Alabama. Her act was motivated by a common thought among the minorities, and African Americans especially, to challenge and defeat the nationwide white supremacist attitude. The young boy who influenced the actions of Parks and others such as Martin Luther King Jr. to fight for their inalienable rights was Emmett Till. Till was born in 1941 and raised in Chicago. In 1955, at the age of 14, Till convinced his mother, Mamie Till, to let him go see his family in Money, Mississippi. Unbeknownst to Till and his mother, this was the last time she would ever look into her son's eyes and say, "I love you." It was the last time she would ever see her son alive and well. The day before Till left, Mamie gave her son his father's ring, engraved with the initials LT. Till, having grown up in Chicago, was unaware of the extreme racism in the South. After he innocently bragged of having a white girlfriend back in Chicago, a few of his family members and friends dared him to go into the store, Bryant's Grocery and Meat Market, and flirt with the cashier. Till supposedly then went inside and whistled at and flirted with Carolyn Bryant, the white wife of store owner Roy Bryant. 4 days later, at 2:30 a.m., Roy Bryant and J.W. Millam barged into the house of Till's uncle, Moses Wright. After shining a flashlight in Till's face and verbally degrading him by calling him a fat black boy and threatening his life, the two white men kidnapped Till from his home. What happened after that is not entirely clear, yet what is known is that Till was taken to a barn where he was beaten, whipped, demeaned, and then shot to death. To cover up his death, his body was dumped in the Tallahatchie River with the gin fan tied around his neck to weigh him down. When his body was discovered 3 days later with his father's engraved ring on his finger, he was bloated and disfigured. After being shipped back to Chicago, Till's mother had an open casket funeral to show the world what had happened. Newspapers around the country published images of Till's defaced body, and outrage and indignation erupted over the murder. In the following months, Millam and Bryant were tried before an all-white, all-male jury, a jury that was highly influenced by the segregated environment of the South and of the racist ways of the 1950s. A positive identification of Till's body by both Mamie Till and Moses Wright, the inscribed ring on Till's finger, numerous witness statements by neighbors around the barn where Till was beaten that placed the accused at the murder site at the time of Till's death, all provided an abundance of evidence to prove Millam and Bryant's guilt. Yet a statement by Sheriff Strider gave the jury just the doubt they needed to acquit the two when he claimed that the disfiguration of Till's body makes it impossible to determine whether it is actually that of Till. And on September 23rd, Bryant and Millam were given a not guilty verdict. While massive protests spread across the nation following the trial, and numerous calls for federal intervention, Till was not given justice and the murderers were let off the hook. Thus, when Parks and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. thought of Emmett Till, they had no choice but to fight for the rights of African Americans, rights that have been denied to them for centuries. To this day, racism is a problem that plagues America. While Till acted as a martyr for the civil rights movement and is still remembered by many to this day, senseless acts of hatred and racism are still common and is something that we must be aware of and work to stop in order to progress forward. Justice was not reached for Till, and a lack of general welfare for the people in that era must not be forgotten. As a nation, we must remember what happened to Till and work to prevent it from ever happening again.